Hi everybody, it's Honest John again. Now I have no doubt that if I went back over Chuck Hagel's record, I would find plenty of things to disagree with. He's an old-fashioned conservative. Me, I'm conservative on some issues, liberal on others, and moderate on others. I don't check all the boxes on whatever side I believe in. So I'm sure I'd find stuff to disagree with him. Now he has apologized for remarks he made about homosexuals. I okay, I still don't know what biases he might have, um, but "Don't Ask, Don't Tell" has been repealed. Obama, who is the president who is nominating Chuck Hagel, worked real hard to get that done, and putting Chuck Hagel in charge of defense is not going to change that. So that objection has no weight for me. Now, I'm willing to bet that we'd be on opposite sides on a lot of social issues. But I have to concede that he's qualified for the job of Secretary of Defense. Now, he did vote in favor of the Iraq War, but he was smart enough to turn against it. And he did so before the rest of his party did. This is something the neocons hate him for. And let me tell you something. Anybody who the neocons are against, that's a point in his favor as far as I'm concerned. He's also talking about cutting the military budget. That's terrific. Too many people on both sides of the aisle treat the military budget as if it was sacred. It's full of fat. The military has to buy weapons that they don't want because they're manufactured in some congressman's district. We have bases all over the world, far many more than what we need. There's all kinds of stuff that can be cut there. I won't even go into it. The fact that we would have a Secretary of Defense who would be making it his priority to cut the military budget is a very, very smart thing. He's also under fire for remarks he made about the Israel lobby. Now, it was a poor choice of words to call it the Jewish lobby, but having the courage to stand up to that lobby is a plus, not a minus. Too many of our politicians are in the hip pocket of Israel. The fact that we have stood by and watched and done nothing as Israel continues to build illegal settlements on land that they have no right to is a moral, political, and policy failure. We need more people in influential positions with the courage to stand up to that lobby. We need for Benjamin Netanyahu to be a little less certain, a little more worried about what we're going to think. And finally, Hegel was a grunt, not a West Point graduate or a guy who served in the Pentagon, not somebody in the back row telling the front row what to do. He was down there on the lines. He was in the mud. He was wounded twice. I think somebody who has actually fought in a war rather than just directed the fighting might understand something that leaders don't. what it's actually like to be in a war. And maybe you'd be a little bit more sensible, a little bit more reluctant to go to war, having had that experience. So, he's got my support. Thanks for listening.